going on, y'all? Let's move this up a little bit. There we go. All right, welcome to another episode of the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. Thank y'all for tuning in. We got a lot of people in here today. It must be a good title, or y'all must have time to spare. Either way, it is spring break over here in the Houston area. So, depending on your school district, but shout out to everybody on spring break. If you're on spring break right now, let me know in the chat. If you're taking time off from work because your kids are out of school, if you put your kids in camp, you're just taking time off for yourself. If you're on vacation somewhere, let me know. And we just gonna do it like that. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me on this good Tuesday, March 14th, 2023. I appreciate everybody for tuning in. We got a hell of a show for you today. All right. Greetings and thanks to everybody out there. I want to give a salute to my viewers nationwide and international. All right. Everybody on the East Coast, Southwest, South, West Coast. In fact, we start late enough now for you West Coast people to chime in. All right. So we expect y'all to engage with us on this topic and every other topic after. Okay. Once again, welcome to the Trigger Mike Show on the Lapeef Network. For those of you that are notorious at coming in and partaking but not showing love, shame on you. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. Hit that like button. Let me see. Let me open this broadcast. We got 33 likes, 84 people watching. I need that all the way up to 50 right now. I'm not saying another word till y'all hit that like button. Get it up right now as I watch on the counter. Get those likes up right now. Show your support to your people. All right? We about to be cooking on something today. This is one hell of a topic. And y'all know from the thumbnail that I am on one about this topic. You better believe it. I'm not playing no games. All right? Tired of these. Ooh. All right, we passed 50. I appreciate y'all support, but keep hitting that like button if you have not done so already. Right there by the like button, you may also see if you have not subscribed. Go over a little bit to the left. It may say join. It may say subscribe. I want you to subscribe and hit that bell for notifications. If you are not a subscriber to the Lapeef Network, you tripping. Straight up. All right? We your people over here. We know what y'all want to talk about. We got good topics. We got intelligent topics. We even got ratchet topics over here on the Lapeef Network. Y'all better stop playing with us. You need to be a part of these conversations. So I need you to hit that subscribe button right now. All right. If you are already subscribed, thank you for showing love. I got something else you can do to show your support. Hit that join button. Join the channel for all the network perks that you can get on the Lapeef Network. We appreciate your support. All right. Also, what I want you to do, we always love monetary contributions here on the Lapeef Network. The way you can do that if you want to support the show is via super chat. Okay, go around the chat area. If you're on the computer, you'll see a little $sign. You can super chat a live answer to the questions or something that's on your mind that you want the panel to know. You can always do that. Okay, show your support by sending a super chat. If you are watching this at another time, and it's not live, you can send a super thanks to support the network if you like what you hear from me or one of the panelists. We always appreciate your support, your monetary support. And if you can't do that, I also got something you can do for us. If you cannot monetarily support the show, I want you to hit that share button. Hit that share button and share this broadcast out to your Facebook news feed, your Instagram chat, your WhatsApp chat, and let people know this is what you're watching on this good Tuesday, and we got good topics and good conversation for you. Everybody needs to partake on these topics, and we appreciate your support there. Who I got in my chat this morning? Well, it's almost afternoon anyway. Is this the one with chaotic? Lady, if you don't get the hell off my brother is coming on after, okay? Chaotic, you got fans over here. You got fans over here looking for you. This is the Trigger Mike Show. Look at the top. Look at the top. The Trigger Mike Show. Chaotic is coming on after. Your fans are disturbing me. Goodness gracious. My man, we building over here. What's going on? Opulence, what's going on? What's up? What's up? My man Jermaine, what's going on? Will Dixons, how you doing? Grub Set, what's up? G, what's up? A Chanel, how you doing? Hidden Gems, my man, what's going on? Tina, how you doing? Jamal Carter, what's going on? Good morning. Good afternoon. James Sharp, how you doing? My man Jordan Landry. always holding it down. Thank you for your support as a mod. Green Gang in the building. Jaquin, what's going on? I want to see you in on this topic. Mr. Clement Gray, what's going on? Talk to me. I know you got some verses for me. I'm actually going to read a verse. I don't think you're going to like it, though, but I'm going to read a verse today. Natasha's here. How you doing? Me University, what's going on? Miss D, how you doing? Hey to you. My man Trey. The disrespect. My man said he didn't know y'all was doing corn now. The disrespect. That's funny. Enos, Canada in the building. Hack, what's going on? All right. We got that out the way. I know y'all saw the thumbnail. Y'all messy. Look at all these people in here this early. Y'all messy. Y'all like these thumbnails, huh? Y'all know what I wanted to talk about. In fact, let me put on some hand sanitizer because we about to get grimy. All right. Because I'm gonna do him dirty. Forget her. This ain't even her fault. It's his fault. Y'all already know the type of time I'm on. Today, I got time. It's spring break. Okay? All right. The topic for today is submissive men destroyed the community. Submissive men destroyed the community. What you got on it? What do y'all think? Am I spot on or am I missing something? You know, we can talk. This is not an echo chamber, or at least I don't want it to be. Okay, we can talk. You can tell me I'm flat out wrong. Okay? I advocate all the time for full accountability of men. Husbands, fathers, grown men. We're in charge of this shit. We're in charge. This is my house that I'm sitting in. I'm in charge. Everything that happens and the representation of my house and my family is on me. It's my fault. Whatever happens. Okay? I advocate for that 100%. So let me start by saying to you submissive men, I hate you niggas. Good God Almighty. Hate is a strong word, but I hate you niggas. Oh, man. I hate you more than soggy cereal. I hate you more than a high light and gas bill. I hate you niggas more than property taxes. What else? I hate you niggas more than getting my hairline pushed back by a new barber. For black men, y'all know what I'm talking about. You feel that skin that ain't supposed to be touched. Now it's burning. All right, it's burning. You know he done did something he wasn't supposed to do. You know he done did something he wasn't supposed to do. Niggas hate getting their hairline pushed back. I hate you niggas. Submissive men. Jesus Christ. All right. Listen, I'm going to start this morning off, or this afternoon, rather. My man Trey said, damn, I hate property. That's how much I hate these niggas, Trey. We all hate property taxes, bro. But I hate them more. I'm telling you. I want to start this broadcast off by reading from the good book. JR, I want you to clip this. We're going to start this broadcast off by reading from the good book. This is from the book of Future, chapter 69, verse 304. From the streets did she emerge, and to the street she will return. And I say unto you, she is for the streets. So be not weary when she must return from whence she came. Should I read it again? Chat, should I read it again? Are y'all feeling that verse or what? All right. It's from the Nigalations version. Let's read it again for those in the back. From the book of Future, chapter 69, verse 304. From the streets did she emerge, and to the street she will return. And I say unto you, she is for the streets. She be not weary when she must return from whence she came. Clap it up. Man, clap it up for that verse. We're going to talk to him. Bow your heads as we pray for the community we've lost. All right? Let me start off by telling y'all what submissive men are. I always want to define this. I listen to my chat when they talk, and we just can't be out here having a conversation without giving context to what we're talking about. The word submissive man is a buzzword. It's a buzzword. All right. We know I'm not talking about the sexually submissive type man, that's 50 Shades of Grey type bullshit. I'm not talking about that. What I actually mean is passive man. I'm talking about the passive nature of men. Passivity means you do not exert yourself in your relationships, meaning you leave things to the other person. This can include decisions, ideas, planning, as well as even things like topics of conversation. All right? That is what I mean by passive man. Submissive men that are too passive. We often call them simps. My brother here talking about submissive men are nothing more than a simp. You know it. You know it, but I don't want to trigger anybody with that word. They get triggered by that word. We can talk it the ratchet way and we can talk it the intelligent way, but we're going to talk about it either way. Remember that. You do not take the lead, but you are the constant follower. That is the passive nature of men that is destroying the community. Let's continue. I characterize these men also. I characterize these men as men of no principles. And don't get me wrong, they can pretend. They can pretend to have principles if it benefits them. But in action, in how they run their homes, you can tell these are not principled men. They're letting the women run the show. A man that lets his woman run the show is a man of no principles. Think about what I said for a moment. This is never a dig on women. If you understand your job as a man, you run the show and you understand why. Remember, men don't lead by desire. We lead by expectation. She expects you to lead, and she's just going to run amok till you take over from her ass. But you're too passive, so you just let it slide. I don't understand you niggas at all. So, I say this to say that even for people who aren't necessarily religious, if you find yourself to be a principled person, if you call yourself a principled person, or a spiritual person rather, you will understand that your woman cannot spiritually lead herself. That is what we're seeing and witnessing in this day and age. A bunch of women spiritually leading themselves even when they have a man. If you agree with that, put a 1 in the chat. Women can't spiritually lead themselves. Female pastors don't spiritually lead themselves. I ain't lying. They don't spiritually lead themselves. T.D. Jake's daughter is about the biggest female pastor there is at the moment. Did you look at her name? Do you know who her father is? She don't spiritually lead herself. They will leave themselves, these women rather, and their communities. If you let them govern, they will leave it in destruction. They expect you to lead. This is the beta male problem. This is the beta male problem we've been talking about. They have no standards because fluidity is their standard. Fluidity is their standard. They hold no standards as an objective truth. And when I say objective truth, I know that truth can be objective. The truth is objective, but I'm trying to make a point. They hold no standards as an objective truth, only subjective claims they believe to be true. Haven't you noticed? Everything is subjective when a woman is in charge. Y'all have watched these panels. You can give them truth. You can give them facts. But when they get a hold of it, it's all subjective. It's a maybe. It's a I don't know, but it's a fact. Ain't no buts about a fact. Everything they're in charge of is subjective, is fluid. And that's how we got in this freaking problem in the first place. Some things just got to be what they are. Damn. I hate you, submissive ass niggas. Y'all caused this shit. Modern men are extremely passive and submissive men. The worst part about all this is that it's not even really your fault. It's not. You were told to be this way. You've been indoctrinated into a society that told you to acquiesce to the demands of women. It's not even really your fault. You have watched TV shows and movies with women beating up grown men. You've watched men be disrespected and assaulted in their own home and then get legal action threatened against them. I don't blame y'all. I don't blame y'all. This engine, this cycle of toxic perversion against you, it's too much for anybody to take without interaction from other men. I get it. It's not even really your fault, but something got to be done either way. The men, we back now, and we taking this shit back over. I'm sorry. Let me tell you why passive men are dangerous. Let me go ahead and drop this link for y'all, and I'm gonna have some standards for people coming up. Make sure you are on cam. All right, we ain't gonna have none of this BS no more. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, I ain't no fool. I'm just saying. Link is dropped for the people that want to prepare and come up and talk on this topic. You are welcome. Before I let you up, I will verify though. All right, where was I? Why being a passive man and a submissive man is dangerous. We need to talk about this. Women need your guidance. The women need you. Straight up. Your wife, your girl, your sisters, your daughters, even your aunts, even in her old age, your mother. She will need you to be assertive. Women need you to be an assertive man. All of these women, not just your wife, not just your woman. All women need you to be an assertive man. Do you want to know why? You want to know why it's funny? Do you want to know why we have a divorce crisis in America and in the West, but more specifically, more intense in the black community? Do you want to know why? It's because women will always leave beta males. They will always leave beta males. Men that got their shit together are always more attractive than you submissive ass niggas. Good God Almighty. Y'all make me sick. Women will always leave the beta males. And I don't even mean beta as if it's a bad thing. Okay? As if it's a bad thing. Not everybody can be alpha, but you don't have to simp. You don't have to simp. You don't have to let her run the show. You can still be a beta following alpha's directions. You don't have to be an alpha to run your own home. But you letting her run the show? Cheese and rice. They will always leave you for a more assertive man. It's just what they do. Women think they want a man they can easily control, but then they blame him because he can't take control. Do you see the illusion? Do you see the illusion now? They are telling you, they are telling other women that you want a man you can control, that lets you do things, that doesn't hold you back. But they will blame you if you can't take control in your own home. Ain't nobody got control over me. This is my house. This is the way I was told to be. If I want to keep control, if I want my children to be safe, if I want my son to grow up and take care of business, this is how I have to be. That's why my wife is just cool with it. She cool with everything. Let me tell y'all something. This is the funniest shit you have ever heard in your life. Have you ever heard a woman say her husband leads too much? I'll wait. Let me know in the chat. I don't like him, girl. He leads too much. Fuck out of here. You ain't never heard that in your life. I lead too much. You ain't never heard a woman say her husband leads too much. I don't even lead sufficiently. I overlead. I lead other people's houses with my leadership. The hell y'all talking about? She ain't never said no shit like that in her life. Y'all need to read between the lines. They want leaders, assertive men that take control. Take control of your house, King. It's your house. Those are your kids. This is your legacy. It's your last name. Your son, and this is important, your son needs your guidance if he has a chance of being a capable leader for his family. Do y'all not think about these things while y'all out here simping and beta mailing? Did you never think of how it's going to have an effect on your son and his abilities? Like he don't need to see you in charge? Damn, I could burst into tears thinking of how bad it would be for my son to end up a simp who can't take care of his own house. That's crazy. That'd be completely my fault. Many of you think I'm being harsh. You may be thinking that some men are naturally passive and we should just not scorn them for that. We should just leave them alone. I'm not talking about those men that are more reserved, that are more quiet, but when called upon, they lead their house. I know plenty of men. It is an art form that can be quiet and reserved, but assertive. It's just what men do. You don't have to be loud to be assertive. When it's time for you to step up, you're always game. That's what it means. When it's time for you to do what's necessary, all hands on deck. I'm here, Chief. What do you need? I'm ready to lead. I'll do what's necessary for mine. It don't mean he's loud and boisterous. It means he stands at the ready for his family and he's capable, whatever they need. I'm not being harsh. This is not about quiet, reserved men. These are about men that are passive when they need to be assertive. That bullshit out of here. I ain't scorning nobody. Being an overtly passive man seems to only come out, and this is when it comes out. If you want a test to show you when you're being an overly passive man, it is when your woman takes it to the point of embarrassing you. Y'all seen that Sierra picture? She embarrassed that nigga. I'm sorry. If you think Sierra embarrassed Russell Wilson and the look on his face showed it, put a 1 in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat if you think Sierra embarrassed the crap out of Russell Wilson. Damn, she embarrassed that dude. I'm embarrassed for him. His face said it all. Listen, for those of you ladies, because I put up a Facebook post about it just to see what people would say. Listen, it's time. If the black community is not completely dead, it's on life support. The comments that I was getting from men, from married men, is what inspired this topic. You submissive ass niggas. We not friends no more. Jesus Christ. I lost like 30 Facebook friends yesterday. Lost all respect for these dudes. You got to start a tribe. If you're a black man that cares about the black community, start your own tribe. Some of these dudes are too far gone. They can't be saved. They're just like the women. They're just like the women, bro. They can't come to the cookout. Isn't that what y'all say? They can't come to the cookout. They're not invited anymore. They are going to simp hard and leave the new community you're trying to build in shambles. It's terrible out here, bro. Now, what I said was an overly passive male will understand he is too passive at the point of embarrassment. Russell Wilson has reached his peak point of embarrassment. People expect men to know or say, if he let her come out like that, he's okay with it. No, a submissive man won't do that. An overly passive man won't do that. He'll pretend he's okay with it while secretly having a problem with it. Or he believes he's lucky to be with her, so he's just going to simp and not say nothing, even though he cares about how he's represented deep down inside. What's going to happen is once he starts getting embarrassed, he will lash out. He will blame her. And she, as a woman, will say, well, you should have told me. I wouldn't have worn it if you told me. That's the situation we're in right now. I read a meme yesterday that says you can't turn a 304 into a housewife. Guess whose picture they put up there? Sierra in that. That's not even a dress. Let me stop. That was a damn negligee. That was lingerie. The link is dropped. I'll drop it again for those of you that want to come up and talk with me on this. The link is dropped for you. But yes, these submissive men, please understand how we got here. Submissive men create all kinds of problems in relationships and marriages. If you need me to prove this to you, I can. I'm not just talking. I can prove this. Submissive men give women a false sense of entitlement. And this has made way for women to have an overinflated sense of self and a misunderstanding about what is acceptable in marriages and relationships. That shit is unacceptable. You cannot behave like a Christian housewife during the day and a 304 at night just because you feel like it. Choose a side. Husbands, draw a line in the sand. I'm not saying you can't be a 304. I have participated in 304 culture. I have financed 304 culture. I ain't never in my life told a hoe she can't be a hoe. But once I became a husband, I chose a side. I can't participate in that shit no more. Line in the sand. What side you on, Russell? What side you on, Sierra? That's what I'm talking about. Choose a freaking side. Ain't nobody saying you can't make a change. Nobody's saying you can't atone for your past sins, but you got to choose a side, Chief. How do we say it? Mr. Gray, Mr. Clement Gray, let me know if I'm wrong on this. What does it say? You can't serve two masters? Isn't that the great saying? You can't serve two masters. She want to be a Christian housewife in the daytime, singing at the choir, going to jails in the name of God and reading Bible scriptures, and then wear that bullshit at night. I would have threatened her ass. Oh my gosh, Russell, what are you doing? You literally. This is the epitome. This is the epitome of having a bad season. This dude is having not just a bad football season. He having a bad season in life. What do they call them? Storms. This nigga is in it. This is a cyclone for this dude. You lost in your career. You losing in your marriage. I would not be surprised any day now if he offed himself. The hell wrong with you, Russell? You ain't nobody role model no more. The hell you doing out here? That's why they ran your ass out of Seattle. Submissive men are why women think they can change all traditions and still have functional and capable marriages and relationships. Do y'all understand what I'm saying? It's the men's fault. It's y'all fault they think they can change these traditions and still have functional marriages and relationships. Crazy. Let me read some of these. It's panel time, ladies and gentlemen. The link is dropped if y'all want to come up. In the meantime, I'm going to read some of these things. If you want to let me know, if you want me to read something, please put something up. My man James Sharp says, in reality, we live in a lapsed patriarchy disguised as a gynocentric society where white feminism is everywhere. Women give birth to mankind, but women can't build and maintain this world. I have no qualms. I have no pushback for that. It is a lapsed patriarchy. Bad part about it is that every matriarchy that's ever existed is still in the primitive stages of a society. I don't know why we let women partake in their own wicked desires to think that they can lead us anywhere. I will off myself before I let a woman follow, before I follow a woman around, spiritually or otherwise. I will off myself. That is destruction personified. A man doing that is destroying himself. It's not what you were made. My man Shui, give me a peace sign, dog. Give me a peace sign in the camera. Throw me a peace sign. Yeah, you. All right, bet. Shui, what's going on, man? Good morning to you.
What's going on with you, player?
Hey, I'm chilling, bro. What you got on the topic this morning? Specifically, I'm talking about Russell and Sierra, but anything you got on it is good, is welcome.
I mean, I really think it's much to do about nothing. I watched the show yesterday that you was having with the brother. I think his name was Prototypical Dad or something like that.
Prototype dad. Hold on
Prototype
real
Dad.
quick. Mr. Payne, throw me throw me a Q sign. Throw me the Q sign up.
There you go, brother.
Got you. All right, bet. Go ahead. My bad, Ali. Go ahead.
Nah, you good, man. What he was talking about, and to me, I really don't see how not that I don't understand. I just don't think it makes sense to correlate what Russell has going on in his relationship to things within the Black community or whatever. I really think that's a separate thing. It's a celebrity thing. I get if you're coming from a religious standpoint and saying like, hey, he's supposed to be a paragon of religion and Christianity, and this goes against Christianity and some of the morals and principles of that. I get that. I definitely do understand that. But for me, most of it, I guess, about the idea of men being submissive, and that's why things are. I feel like that is a total misnomer. I feel like that really has nothing to do with why Black people are in the position that they're in now.
Okay, we can get into it in a little bit. Mr. Rich, what you got on it, sir?
Yeah, listen, remember when Charles Barkley came out and said, I'm not a role model?
Yep.
Long time ago. It might be before some of your time. He was wrong then, and he later on admitted it, because when you got the grand stage, what you do matters. What you do matters, whether you want it to or not. So Sierra and Russell Wilson are not the prototypical couple because they're both rich. Sierra is not a prototypical baby mama because, you hear me?
Yeah. I'm saying CBN. Throw me a peace sign.
Okay. So she's not a typical baby mama because whether she had a man or not, that kid wasn't going to go hungry. So Russell Wilson and his family with his wife, they may have an understanding, but in the definition of him looking like a simp, there's no doubt about it. Or a beta male or a guy being led. Just like the picture of ASAP Rocky and Rihanna, right? We can read all we want into it. It might be the way he don't mind living, right? But he still projects that. And so in our community, in the Black community, we have too many men who project submission to their women. And
go ahead.
Well, no, I'll be quiet after this. With some guys, that might not matter, but can our community grow or build a new one with men being led by women? I don't think we can. I think it's just going to get worse. And these guys are role models. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to interject with the fact of, like, even if you're going back to that picture with ASAP and Rihanna was the star of that magazine. She's the star. She's a multi-billionaire and an icon. And to even think that it would make sense for, on a cover that is about her, for ASAP to be in front of her.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that. I didn't.
No, but
I didn't. Wait.
well,
I'm
I'm not going to speak. I'm not going.
sorry.
I'm not. No. You're good, brother. I'm not going to speak directly to what you're saying, but I am also going to speak to the sentiment that was given through some of the people within, I guess, some of this space that ASAP was taking a submissive role, and that Rihanna was trying. They were showing Rihanna in a state of dominance, and I'm just like, no. I thought it was a cover like that. I thought it was beautiful because it shows ASAP also too in a light that we don't usually see black men holding his child and nurturing and being loving to his child.
Yeah, you're right. And I don't necessarily 100% disagree with you, but I don't want you to characterize what I said like that. He didn't have to be in that photo. He submitted. Wait a minute. He submitted himself to be in that photo, and the photo represents something. Even though it's a woman's magazine, even though Rihanna is the star and she's getting ready to be a $2 billionaire with that Puma deal, that's fine. That's all grand. There's nothing wrong with that. But I don't have to be subjected to her supremacy for everybody to see.
Yep.
Right. So here's another thing.
It's not supremacy. That's literally showing him being supportive.
All right, let him finish it up.
Supremacy. I mean, I'm glad that he had his baby in his hand. That's where the baby could be. I had no issue with that. But his Johnson is covered up. He looks smaller. He got no muscle definition in his arms. He just looks. He looks like a. And I'm thinking, in real life, he is one of those omnisexual guys, whatever the hell they call him, metasexual. So I mean, I hear what you're saying, and I don't 100% disagree with what you're saying. I just don't want to be mischaracterized that they did anything wrong. I'm just saying the visual is left up to all kinds of interpretations, yours and mine.
No, I agree with that. I think it is left up to interpretation. But I didn't know if the other brother wanted to speak. I didn't want to take up all the talking time.
My man CBN, what's going on?
We'll get back to it.
I hope I don't get interrupted here, because what I'm hearing, it got me thinking, like, what the hell is going on here? Who say we haven't seen men holding their kid photo shoot? But I've saw many. But the magazine that took the picture of Rihanna, is it for our community or for the other? That's one. Two, Ali said what Sarah did is not the same with today's society. I live in New York City. I see that more often than usual when men go out there with their women and women dressed a certain way, just like that, or even worse than that. Other guys are watching like, what the hell is going on? I serve in a church, mind you. And I see men have their women dressed in a way that every other brother who are not married breaking their neck. So when I hear that type of BS, I don't feel sorry for no black man who will be a simp. You let your community go down the drain because you let it be. So all this nonsense I'm hearing, I'm like, either you're stuck on stupid, you decide to be ignorant about it, or you just neglect it. They want the blueprint. I had to study your history, how Black Wall Street came about. What I noticed of all the multiple Black Wall Street that were created in the United States, when I put it in the history book, there were strong black men that run the household, that build Black Wall Street. We're no weak-ass men. We're strong-ass men. And the problem with the other community, aka the white community, had an issue with that because those black men were strong as hell, building an economic outside of their economic. And they did not like it. So when they burned out Tulsa, Oklahoma, and multiple other cities like that, they want to put it out there because they don't want it to look bad. It's because they were strong black men building something bigger and better. Now to recreate the same thing, you can't have weak-ass men. You just can't. It's not possible. It would not work. In the city, you have multiple ethnic groups. I watch the Jewish community. I watch the Asian community. I watch the Mexican community. They do not tolerate that nonsense. They're the reason why they're above us. And you want to break down the black community, the African ethnic groups, they don't play that game either. They just don't. Everything's about structure and order. If you don't have that in your household, consider your household completely dead. Period.
So Shui, back to what you were saying. So I personally spoke on that Rihanna and ASAP Rocky thing. So I 100% align with everything Mr. Rich said. All right. So as a father myself, there's nothing wrong with a man holding his child. But just like Mr. Rich said, if at any point I get, and I don't know if you've noticed, there is a complete media agenda and push to make men look subservient to women. I understand you're young, but you got to pay attention. Right now, you're probably in the midst of it, and I sympathize with you so much because at a point I was you. Are you in college?
No, brother, I'm not that much younger than you.
I got you. But
yeah,
what I'm saying, you might be in the thick of it if you're out, if you're partying and all of that. You have to watch the way media works now, because
and I've been
men
in a
are
relationship for
naturally
7
the
years.
dominant
So
force on this planet. The only way women can achieve dominance or have perceived dominance is to make us look small. That's the only way. So you have to understand that has to be a part of the agenda to make women look powerful. Now, just like Mr. Rich said, there's nothing wrong with me holding my baby. And what people don't understand is that Rihanna could be a billionaire in any photo. The fact is true. The truth is true. We can have a traditional family photo with me standing where the hell I'm supposed to be in front, and I can hold the baby. And this whole thing could be about her. Zoom out of me and zoom into her, but she behind my ass, not beside, behind. Men that don't think this way, women leave. That's what I want you to understand. Men that are submissive get left. This is why we have a problem of 70 to 80% divorces, because women leave betas. They leave submissive men. They do not leave assertive men. I want you to try to debate
yes,
that.
they do, all the time, all the time. They leave assertive, or what y'all would call as, I don't know, I guess leading. What's it called? Because I was listening to the program earlier, and you were saying something like women have never said like this man is leading too much, but I've heard plenty of women say like this man he's super controlling. What's it called? He
I'm
thinks
not
he's
going to say
entitled.
controlling. Yeah.
He
I'm
thinks
not
he's
going to say
entitled.
when men aren't controlling. And I'm not doing anything with absolute certainty, right? Yes, some assertive men can get left if they have other issues.
No, a lot
What
of
I mean is when
assertive
you look
men
at
get left.
when you look at the divide of what women say is wrong with the man, they basically leave men sometimes, unfortunately, that were raised by women and have too many behaviors
But
that
wait,
women have and keep
are
those
we
type
even
of behaviors.
are we even having like that's the thing though. I feel like with these conversations too, like it has to be dialogue on both sides. What are
Mhm.
we hearing from women when you listen to women talk about divorce and why they
I
get
don't listen to
divorced?
women talk. Maybe that's where we have
And,
the divide.
and that is the big problem, because they are literally half of the world's
I'm joking.
population.
Hold on real
Okay,
quick.
but
Mr.
no, guys,
Ikene, can I get a salute? Can you throw me a salute so I know it's you? Throw me a salute. All right, bet.
So, Ollie, you've been around here when Cali Bev comes around, or heaven forbid, PhD Diva. You know, we get some
yeah, no.
balance. If you ever around here when those two ladies come around, and who's the other one? Oh, I forgot her name. She likes to give it to the men too. So it balances things out. I don't disagree with you about let me just say this. I don't disagree with you about the assertive men. They get left too, but that's only because they make a mistake before they get married without laying down the ground rules. A lot of them do.
I don't think. All right. Let me bring some of this back.
Anna is the worst one, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Anna
I
the
haven't
worst
seen that
What
one.
what's going on with a lot of young men today anyway is that they are seeing a cultural shift happen before their eyes, like you're talking about. I think where I frame the cultural shift is very different from how y'all frame the cultural shift.
Okay.
The cultural shift is that it's not the 1950s or 60s anymore. It's not. We're not in the age of. I know the brothers. I know. Brother Payne is a boomer.
It's a
We're not in
baby
that.
boom, old as hell.
We are
I'm
not
so
in that.
sorry.
We,
Let him
Hold
go.
on,
Ali's
let's
talking.
let Ali finish. Ali, go ahead.
Can you guys
We
hear
are
me?
not.
Can you guys hear me?
We can hear
Yeah,
Can
you.
you
we hear
guys
you.
hear me?
Yeah,
We
let's
hear
let
you,
Ali,
Ali
brother.
finish real
I'm
quick.
so
Wait,
I'm so sorry
give
for
me 1 second,
interjecting.
brother.
Okay.
Let me just finish
Let him
my
finish.
Let's
point
let him
real quick.
finish
Brother.
real quick,
I just don't
Mr.
want to
Economic.
finish because I don't want to forget it real quick, brother. But what they're seeing is a cultural shift happening before their eyes, where they're noticing that, oh shit, my fault. I don't know if I can curse.
Yeah,
No,
My
go
fault.
ahead. Go ahead.
What they're seeing is that, oh wait, what did I measure what my masculinity was, or what was the primary role of my masculinity before this cultural shift? Well, I would say since the damn, what is it? The whatever. I can't even think about it. But since the early 1900s or even late 1800s, from now, what was the pinnacle of what you saw? What masculinity was to provide and protect. Now that men are seeing that, especially in the Black community, when it comes to household income, is as egalitarian as it could possibly get. Black women being able to go getting college degrees. In some places, even though Black men still, on the most part, out earn Black women, it's very close. And in many of these homes, men are starting to find out that, wait, I actually need, if I want to have a family, you need a woman's income. You need a woman to be that, maybe not you brothers on this panel, but I'm talking about for the most average men, they need women's income. But what they're starting to understand is that with that income, with women getting more rights, with women getting, rightfully so, with women getting more autonomy with themselves, they want to have more say. They want to have more of a voice when it comes to the household. And that has slowly been happening. And I think for many men,
Yeah,
and for
Ali,
many men,
I think
they are
I think
noticing
you're
that
projecting. I think you're projecting a false narrative, man. This is
how so?
what the women say. I don't know why you're. This is what the
Bro,
women
no,
say.
all right, wait.
Hold on. There is no
This is not just a
Ali,
evidence.
woman
Ali,
thing.
Ali,
There is
There's
Ali,
no
no
evidence of
Ali,
evidence
what?
Ali.
that there is no evidence that men do not let women have more say. There's no evidence of that. All right. The simple fact. Let me tell you why. I drop my kids off at school every morning. In fact, my wife goes to work at like before 6 a.m. I get them ready for school. You don't hear
Yeah.
men talk about this stuff because we just do what is necessary. It's only women trying to control the narrative about what they want. It's a part of the media agenda. All they do is talk because they want it all. So it makes it seem like men aren't doing anything. It makes it seem like men aren't acquiescing. But we just do what is necessary. Let me give you the other point. When I get to school, there are literally half or more dads dropping their kids off simply because their wives work before they do. They don't talk about it. We won't gloat. We don't have meetings say this is terrible that we got to drop our kids off, pick them up, and make their lunch. We don't do that. We just do necessary shit. That's what men do. All right. The second part of it is, in fact, I forgot the second part of it. Let me get Mr. Ikene in here, then we'll chop it up.
Okay, Ali, I got to say this real quick, okay? When you, as a man, start a family, the first thing you have to do is to lay the rules and regulation that applies to your family, okay? But when you don't do that, women snap into default of taking charge of that family. And I got to say to you this, let me put it in biblical way. I'm not a Christian. I'm an African traditionalist to the core, but I'll use the Bible just the way you can understand it at the Quran. When something went wrong in the Garden of Eden, did God go to Mary or to Eve? No, he went to Adam. Because when things happen to you or to your family, the government, nobody comes to your wife and asks her what went wrong. They come to you. They ask you because you're supposed to be in charge. It doesn't matter how much your wife makes, even if she makes 10,000 times better than you, or you make 10,000 times better than her. Women by nature always anticipate a man to lead, no matter how much she makes. But if you don't take that charge, she takes the charge right away. And that is to the detriment of your family. Because that last name is not her last name, is yours. You have to do everything within your power to protect the last name that your ancestors gave to you. As a man, Forget about your credibility. Your credibility is your last name. You see what I'm saying? When she came to that house, she didn't come with her last name. She expected you to give her your last name. Your last name is your virtue, which means you have to guide your last name with every drop of your blood. You see what I'm saying? Meaning that if she's going to take this last name, she has to meet the highest bar of being a wife. The bar of being a side chick is very low. The bar of being a girlfriend is in the mid-size. But for you to be a wife, you have to qualify to be a girlfriend. But once you qualify to be a girlfriend, you are in the trajectory of being a wife, meaning that is the highest bar any woman has to cross, and you have to make that bar. I got to tell you this, just like I left on YouTube, I left it on my YouTube channel. A man's credibility lies with his wife. The way your wife coordinates herself in public is how other men will respect you.
Yep.
If you give your wife power, she will abuse it.
Absolutely.
You have to nurture your wife on how to handle your power, handle that power that you give to her, no matter her age. Women, irrespective of their age, always need a man to lay the guide. You have to set the path. Let's assume you marry a woman right now, and maybe 3, 5, 10 years into the marriage, the man dies and the kids are very young. You see the path that you lay, that's the path she's going to follow because you've accepted that path with all your strength and blood. She will follow that path, and when the kids grow, they will feel like their father was there because you laid the path. But if you don't lay that path, the woman will craft her own path, and when she crafts that path, your last name is doomed forever.
All right. So I wanted to speak to what you were saying when you were talking about. First of all, I want to go to the idea that women are naturally looking for men to lead. I will admit there are a lot of women that do look for men to lead. I think it has nothing to do with. I think it almost has very little to do with nature and a lot to do with socialization, how we socialize people.
Oh no.
No, you're wrong. You're wrong. Okay, bro. Let me correct you. Let me say one thing before you go forward.
Listen, let him finish. We're gonna. You're getting attacked after you finish. I just want you to know.
I really need scientific proof on why women cannot lead, why women are incapable of making.
All right, let me just say this. So, damn, you sound like a lot of the people I know right now. So, this is also something women say. Women want to be in charge. So
people
they have
say
to.
this, brother. This is not a
hold on. Let me finish.
Philosophers have been saying this.
Listen, this is something women say. Women have to find ways to try to disprove and try to put themselves in front. So they discredit the whole male dominance narrative to begin with. Y'all aren't natural leaders. It was socially constructed this way. That's what women say. Let me tell you why. If you mind sharing, what industry are you in, Shway?
I am I'm a longshoreman.
Oh, damn. There's no women. Damn near. But let me tell you, I'm in healthcare. Okay. Nursing, health administration. All right. I work with mostly women. So the funniest thing is that I thought what you were saying was truth. And what I realized is the social construct that you're talking about is actually a construct created by men, which is the workforce and hierarchy within jobs. You see women lead in those spaces all the time, right? Because it's constructed. The one thing I noticed as one of the only males wherever I go is that induce stress into a situation and all women will fall to the wayside and let the man take lead. In a socially constructed environment, even when it's their job title to lead, they will let and look for men to take over. I say this all the time and I live by it. We don't lead by we don't lead by desire. It's not me beating on my chest saying women move. I am the leader. It is me leading by expectation. They expect me to take over when shit gets hot. That is their nature. I promise you. Go ahead.
Trigger Mike, check this out. Ali, check this out. If you as a man come into a room full of women and there are 10 women, right? And they are all talking. And you're talking and they're not listening. And you yell out and say, shut up, all of you, and listen to me. The whole women will keep quiet. They
It
will
depends on
all
what
keep quiet. No, I'm coming. I'm
that
coming.
that
No,
is
I'm coming. No,
anecdotal though.
no.
Like I'm
It's not
from where I'm
anecdotal.
from. If I come in and I tell a bunch of women and I say shut up and listen to me, they be like, nigga, who do you think you are?
Let me tell.
Who are
Let me
you?
finish. I'm heading somewhere. They're gonna all keep quiet, and you're gonna see that one black woman. 3 minutes into that quiet, she's gonna challenge you, and you have to shut her down that moment, because if you don't shut her down, the rest will speak out, right? Because the reason why is that women understands in the first 3 minutes of conversation that the man is in charge before one of them start rebelling. And you have to go to that one that rebels and shut her down too. For the rest to stay in line. Because this is how women operate.
That's not a good example. Because the hyenas
No,
will beat your
No,
ass as soon as you try to tell them to
Mr.
do
Okay.
Deacon,
so
yeah,
that's
let me just say this to his example. Let me say this to his example. So what Sway, what you're actually noticing, which is funny to your point, the social construct is not even women. It's not constructed against women. The modern social construct is other men holding men back so women can lead. That is
That's
actually
right.
socially constructed.
that's
That's
what it is.
Because
that's
let
right.
me tell you right
That's
No,
now.
right.
Let me say
power.
this out because it's on my heart to say it, and I gotta say it. Any man, especially assertive men, if we want to get women to act right, I could change all that shit today. It's just illegal and it's frowned upon. You hear what I'm saying? If we
It's
wanted to change
inhumane
the
if
action,
that's what you're talking about.
wait,
If
if
it's
we go
illegal.
back to a post-apocalyptic world and I wanted to change a bunch of women and to follow me and follow my instruction, every man could do that shit in one day. It's just illegal and frowned upon. It is only the socially constructed life that has them talking crazy like shit to men. Because if I wanted to stop that shit, I would. And I could.
Well, say it this way, Mike. The
Yeah,
truth
go
of the
ahead.
matter is, Ali, that all of the bennies and all of the social justice that women have today is at the behest of men. Period. If all this feminist shit, all of that stuff would go away if men didn't want it to happen. If the grid goes down, there's no more boss bitches. They're gonna find the toughest guy to cleave around. If there's no social order, Darwinism takes over. It's as simple as that. Women ain't gonna be leading hundreds of men because they can yell louder. It's gonna be who could fight the most, who's the deadliest. That's what's gonna happen. So all the stuff that we live is a social construct that men allow. And this gynocracy we live under is still under a patriarchy, believe it or not, because all the people at the top are really men.
Are men. They benefit from
So
that.
all the people at the top of the United States are really men. We got these little acolytes that are women,
So
and
how are we
it's
in a gynocracy if it's a patriarchy?
because
If all
No,
everything is
the
so
patriarchy allows the gynocracy to exist.
exactly. It's actually
men run
it's
all of
represented
this.
in the
Yeah,
socioeconomic
at a
structure.
certain level.
Yeah.
Yes.
No,
So
not
in
a
the
certain
middle,
Yeah.
so
level.
basically,
All of it.
The reason why certain people in the government allow that to happen is because when you put certain number of women, you deny certain number of men for being there. So they use the top echelon of men use women as a buffer
mhm.
between them and the men that want to be there, that have the power to challenge them. So they use women. So you have a quota. Let's say there is 600 seats, right? In a certain occasion. And the people that are supposed to be there are 600 men. And of that 600 men, right, there are 500 of them that are big boys club. In order to prevent the other boys club from joining the 500 boys club, they will look for 100 women to put there so that the seat can be occupied. Those 100 men that are supposed to challenge them will not come there. That is the social construct.
But let me finish it the way I wanted to finish it, okay? And
Go
I'm
ahead, sir.
gonna be quiet a second because I'm not disagreeing with you. Here's the deal. There's a reason why the transgenders, the feminists, and everybody wants everybody's on this massive trip to emasculate men. Because when men are in their frame, we naturally take control, period. We naturally put order to chaos. We naturally put order to chaos. And it's not that we don't have wars, we don't have this shit going on. I'm saying when you have orderly societies, those societies are built by men. They're not built by women, right? And so in your house. I remember the time when they tried to do this house husband bullshit, right? When a woman goes out and she makes the money and he has the fake nipples and tits on so he can feed the babies and shit. And she comes home with the money and gives him some milk money and beer money and shit. Those marriages don't work because that's against the nature of men and women. I've been telling people, and back to your thing about the 50s, women started changing. The cultural constructs began to change on the advent of the birth control pill, right? When women had the ability to F anybody they want to without reprisal. And that started it. So it's been going on since the 70s. So it's not a new cultural shift. What the cultural shift is now, brother, is that men are deciding to hold their balls and stand up again and say, listen, this shit that's going on now, the debauchery, the women coming out butt naked, and the black women being the culture of blackhood, and they all seem like sluts because they want to twerk on tables. They want to, and this is maybe in the manosphere what we see online, right? Because that's how they express themselves in sexuality. Oh, this guy's peeing on me. I'm butt naked. All that shit, man. None of us like that as men. You know, body count, when we talk about body count, I'm going to shut up after this one. It's not because she had more than one lover. It's how she represents me in the face of other men. How is my respect? If I bring this woman out, do I lose respect because around other men and the people I admire because of this woman? Right? Because none of us, all of us know we ain't having no virgins no more. That's just been out of the window. Right? So whether it was the first guy who broke her back or the 10th guy who broke her back, you don't know. Somebody was busting those cheeks, and we accept that, all right? And we move on. So I'm just saying to say, there's nothing wrong with men being in leadership. That does not mean that you subjugate your women, right? That's not what it means. It just means that you want order in your household. And it's up to you to have order in your household. Because just like Trigger Mike says, if shit goes bad, they ain't looking at your woman. They're coming to you. Whoever said that, they're coming to you. No matter how your shit's structured. They said, man, how could you let your house get all effed up? They're not going to go to your woman. They're going to come to you. I don't care how bad she is.
I would say in a pot.
Hold on real quick.
Like
Sorry, Shway.
No, go ahead.
Hustler Muscular, can you cam up?
I mean, you don't have to agree, but you see what I'm saying, where I'm coming from?
No, I know the angle that all of you guys are coming from. Now, I'm about to say I get the angle that all of you guys are coming from. I just disagree with it. First of all, because I'm not a traditionalist.
Ali, I got to tell you something, right? I got to tell you something.
Go ahead, bro.
You might not agree with what these guys are saying or what we're saying, but you disagree to your own detriment.
Bro, I've been in a relationship for 7 years.
It doesn't matter how many years you've been in a relationship. I've been in a relationship twice.
Yeah, but I just want to say I've been in a relationship for 7 years. Me and my partner have a wonderful relationship. It's been good. So I don't.
And I got to tell you, any relationship that you're inside and your partner is feeling good, that means your partner is in charge. You got to know that. If your partner is more happy, what it means is this. This is what I'm going to tell you. Any relationship that you are and the woman that you're in that relationship with is not complaining. She's in charge. Relationship, I got to tell you this, right? Relationship is not convenient or comfortable. It's never convenient or comfortable. It's the most stressful job you got to be in without a word.
I don't agree with that.
No. I understand love. Let me tell you guys. I understand that you don't agree with me, but I got to tell you, it's a work. Nobody goes to their work to have, oh, God is happy, I'm feeling good. No. That means you're not working.
I hear what you're trying to say, but I don't agree with. I've been married for 35 years.
Yes.
I had my ups and downs. But I don't agree that
now you talk ups and downs.
Yeah, but I don't agree with the ups. I don't agree that it's been hard. It's been a beautiful thing, man. You know, that's all I know. Is that when I add up all my little chits and chats and shit, I haven't had a hard time at all.
I'm not talking about traumatic. I'm not talking about traumatic relationship. No, that's not what I'm saying. If it's traumatic, you got to leave.
Right.
If it's traumatic, you got to leave. What I'm saying is this: that it has to be challenging for both of you because kids are challenging. Wife is challenging. Husband is challenging. That's where your
Hold on,
improvement
real quick.
comes.
Hustler and Muscler, throw up a 3 for me, so I know it's you. All right, bet.
Wait, I
Yeah.
just want to. Let
So
me just.
that
No, go ahead. Finish your
no.
point.
So what I'm trying to say in essence is this, right? If you're in a relationship and both of you are happy and it's not challenging, somebody's more happier than the other person because relationship is challenging.
But you notice
But
I never
number two,
use the word happy. I never
And
use
I
the word happy.
and
yeah, that's what I was saying.
rather,
So
I mean, it's
to
also
conclude, at least sorry about that. To conclude, in conclusion, is this, right? When you don't lay the rules in your family, you will come. I don't know if you have kids or you're gonna have kids, but if you do have kids or you're gonna have kids and you don't have rules, your kids are going to go into a world where there are rules. And when
okay.
they come into that world where there are rules, because you didn't lay the rules for both your wife and the kids, right? They become confused when they get out there. And that's how they become lawless because there was no law.
Mm.
And I get where you're coming from, and I want to
Yeah.
make my point real quick because I know it's a new brother on the panel. What I'm speaking to is that, first of all, when it comes to, like, once I do have children, I would hope to have children. The conversation on how the household would be ran is not just going through me. It's I have a whole nother partner. So the conversation is like, how do we see us leading our children? How do we see parenthood? What does parenthood look like to you? We've already been talking about it, so it's not something that's
Yeah.
new.
So
But
what we're trying to, because I don't want to detract from the conversation, distract rather. Don't assume that that's what we're talking about, that we don't include our wives in these conversations. What
Mhm.
is true and what must be true is that you have the final say. That's what we're talking
and
about.
and that is what
That's
I'm
right.
saying, is that what I'm speaking to on that is that, for me, and like I said, for a lot of people, that doesn't have to be the thing. I don't have to have the final say because I'm not
I'm not
always
even,
right.
so this is the thing. This is the reason it's important for men to get in this space and talk to other men. I understand why it might be attractive to some, and it's even attractive to women. Women will push for this, to say we are a laissez-faire relationship. We are equals. We are 50-50. Everything has to, but how many companies do you know have co-CEOs? How many? It's almost laughable because nobody believes in that concept. When an argument ensues, especially an argument of substance about maybe how your children need to be raised, she does not think like you do. Women do not exercise foresight. And like I said, everything is fluid and subjective in their mind because they don't have to create value in this life like men do. They are
Well,
valuable. They don't create value. So
most things in life
most
are
importantly,
fluid
when it
and
comes to kids,
subjective.
let me say this. When it comes to kids, what's you're going to allow your kids to wear, the type of friends they want to hang out with, your view will be drastically different from hers. Who's making the decision, her or you?
What's it called? It
When
comes
y'all
down
come at
to
a
us.
crossroads and you cannot agree, who's going to acquiesce, her or you?
It really depends.
They don't
To me,
depend. It's your
no, it
children.
does.
It don't
It's
depend.
generally the
Somebody got
man.
to make the decision. Is it her or you?
You're gonna confuse your kids, Ali.
But
Yes.
let
You're
the
gonna
new
Can
guy,
confuse
I
your
can I
kids.
can
let
I
the new
can I
guy come in,
finish?
man. It
Can
doesn't
I
matter. It doesn't matter if it's
finish?
2 cents.
Yeah, I'm about to
Let
say,
Hustle have his 2 cents.
when it comes down to the decision, these things are not rigid and these things are not fixed. Every decision is different. When it comes to our children, I may talk, and that's why community is also important as well. We may talk to other people. We say, hey, we need to come back to this.
Ooh,
I
ooh,
talk to my people. She talks
ooh.
to her people. We come back and we say, you know what, baby?
Ali, Ali,
So, Ali, the
Brother,
point that you're making is actually not husbands talking to their. When you bring community into it, it's not husbands talking to wives. It's husbands
Ali,
talking to other husbands on how their
no,
Ali,
children
but
should be
well,
raised.
no, that's what I'm saying.
I'm going to say
Brother,
two things.
please,
Ali, check
can I
this.
please finish my point? Can I please finish my
Okay,
point,
go ahead.
brother?
Go ahead. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So what I'm speaking to is not what you're talking about is for men like y'all. When it comes to community, I talk to my brothers, I talk to my sisters because I have a lot of women friends as well. I talk to everybody and say, like, am I tripping on this? Is my perspective off on this? And they say, yeah, your perspective may be a little off on that. You should go with that. And I come back and I say, baby, you was right. My fault. We want to go with your problem. It's nothing wrong with that. Look, if you guys want to say I'm the man, it's the buck stops with me, that's cool. Do y'all. But at the same time, do not make it seem as that other brothers that want to exercise different forms of relationship and feel the need to say that doesn't really work for me. I don't think that works. I think that counterintuitive.
Go ahead, Ikene. Go ahead.
I got to ask you a quick question. When you were growing up in the house, right?
Yes.
Who was making the decision in your household? Was it your dad or your mom?
I was called. My father worked a lot, and my mom was called. I was really raised a lot by my grandparents. They did a lot of my child rearing. It was a collective for the most part.
Okay. When your grandparents' household, who was making the decision? Was it your grandma or your grandfather?
My grandparents are a lot more old school, but so my grandfather was a lot more like from where traditionalists, where you guys come from, where the man buck stops with the man.
But your mother made most of the decision in your house, right?
No, my mother didn't make most of the decisions in my house.
It was your father.
Mostly.
No, I'm talking about when your dad. No, forget about. I'm talking about when your dad is around. When your dad is in that house, in the perimeter of that house. When your dad is in the perimeter of that house, right? Who was making the decision?
Oh, he did make a decent amount of decisions. Yeah.
Follow the footstep of your father. That's what you should do. That's the first thing.
Let's get my man Hustler and Muscular in here. Good afternoon to you, bro. What you got on the topic?
How y'all doing?
Oh, we good, man.
All right, man. How you doing?
Now the topic was submissive men are bad for the community.
Indeed, that's the topic at hand. Yep.
Yeah, and I do agree, and I believe. I look at it like this. I believe the reason why men have basically become submissive because we grew up most of our lives being told that masculinity, any kind of masculinity, is considered toxic masculinity. Yep. And when you go around telling young boys stuff like that if you assert yourself as a man, oh, that's disrespectful. If you put your foot down, that's considered inappropriate. Any kind of masculinity is frowned upon and looked down upon. So now it kind of puts us men in a situation where we have to be submissive. We have to, abide by a woman's program. And not only that, it's a common fact that there are consequences behind putting the average Black woman in check. I mean, you can put your foot down in a marriage. You can put your foot down in a relationship. You can put your foot down with your girlfriends, your sisters, but then understand something, there's going to be consequences behind that. She can label you toxic. She can get some people to come. She can get her sisterhood or the brotherhood to come deal with you in some shape, form, or fashion. There's always going to be some kind of consequences behind us trying to assert our masculinity. And that can be a problem right there. And I remember one of y'all, I forget who it was. I think it was a brother next to you. He asked, why is a woman not fit to be a leader? Is that what you asked earlier?
Yeah, no, I asked that. I definitely asked that. Okay. I was asking why they're not fit to be a leader, even though I do think that women absolutely can be leaders.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I feel like women should not be leaders is because women lead more with emotions and feelings, not so much with logic and common sense. And the thing about feelings is
we just don't call it emotional.
The thing about feelings is this. Yeah. First of all, feelings can mislead people. And second of all, feelings can change. So do you want to put your hopes into something that can not only change overnight, but can also mislead you? So that's why the average female is not considered a fit for a leadership role. Now, can women be leaders? To a degree, yes, they can, but not on the level of a masculine leadership. That's where I look at the leadership thing. They can't be leaders on our level. Put it like that.
Let me add this too. So Sway, on I didn't even hear that part because I would have went off. So can women be leaders? All right, we have to assume can women be leaders? Let's talk about what's scientifically proven. Women actually have a lot of leadership qualities on what people say they want in a leader, right? When people say what they want in a leader, they give a bunch of fluff because when you ask people, it includes women. Women are more malleable. They lead with compassion and all that bullshit. And women actually end up having more leadership qualities except one. Do you know the one that they cannot beat men in ever? I even had a show on this. They cannot. No, it's not logic. They don't. That wasn't a metric for this. It's decisiveness. Women are not decisive. And when you say, why can't women be good leaders? Now, it's not only because they're not decisive. It's actually a funniest thing ever. They don't want to be. That is my ultimate point about you, your situation that you talked about, Ali. The part I'm trying to get you ready for as a man and other men that may think just like you. What are you going to do when she's tired of helping you lead? When she says, I no longer want to make any decisions and everything is on you, and you haven't practiced making decisions without her. Women don't want to lead. Once the heat gets turned up, once there's blame and not glory to be had, they will leave your ass alone, step behind your ass and say, take it, chief, you the leader. Right? They don't want to lead. It's an illusion. I promise you. It's an illusion.
That's extremely anecdotal what you're talking about. That's from your perspective of what you think.
Nothing but history is proving it, bro. They don't want to lead.
What history, brother? Like, I really want to know what history.
All history is proving it.
Come on, brother.
Tell me this.
Like, no, I mean,
why aren't there female Mark Zuckerberg,
be...
Elon Musk, or Bill Gates? Why isn't there a female version of these women? Because if they start those companies, they got to get blamed for its downfall. Women don't want to lead shit. They want to lead in constructs that men created. They don't want to lead by themselves. They can go easily start any company with only female workers. They can do it, but they will never.
You could say, wait, hold up. Wait.
That will never work.
Yeah, Ali, wait a minute. What's going on?
Let me just say this. I remember Mr. Logic came on the platform, and he mentioned his experience in the military. So, Mike, you in the military, I understand that. And to shut down Ali's point, Mr. Logic say the particular female who would be the platoon leader, she screwed up and cost a lot of men life on a split-second situation. But they had to put her back to the side and tell her, you stay at the back and you run this thing. When you say such thing like that, and I listen to a lot of guys from the military say the same exact thing over and over and over, the first thing comes to my mind is, whatever they put in this society water, they got you screwed up big time.
Wait, let me, because I gotta speak back to what Mike was saying. So when you say, well, why aren't there women in these different these mega corporations? Why aren't there women out here? First of all, we have women that are prime ministers, we got women that are presidents in the world, making slow progress from where we were literally for most of our human existence to now. The progress is going to be very slow and accurate in like getting women to be in those different roles. But you can also say the same thing about Black people. Well, why aren't Black people in them roles? Is that because Black people can't be there? No, there are societal things, and that goes back to a point that I think his name CBN made when he was talking about, and this was a long ago point, when he was talking about, well, the reason why things were happening in Tulsa, Oklahoma and stuff was that because they were trying to get rid of strong men, and that and through that we've lost that, and that's the reason why we're not we're not where we're at. When no, we're not there because there are societal things, societal structures that's been put in place that holds back different marginalized groups. If you're talking about Black people, if you're talking about women, if you're talking about Black women, there's societal things in place that holds them back. Just
women are not marginalized anymore,
bro. That's not true. It's just not true.
Women are not true, bro. Women in the West are not marginalized. They're the freest women in the whole world.
Let me tell you something, bro. Like, this is a real convo. We got to stop.
Marginalized. So
wait. Hold on. You have to understand.
Black women aren't marginalized. Come on, bro. You gotta be honest.
They're not. Not only are they not marginalized, there are what's called a double minority. Okay, they are women and they're Black. They get chosen over Black men. Black men are actually marginalized over Black women. Like, you gotta stop this narrative. You are not marginalized. You're not.
And like I mentioned, one company that did that.
Wait, so Black people are marginalized. That's what you guys are saying.
Ali, what truly bothers me in your conversation is this: you advocate so much for women that even the white people want them to be there. You advocate so much for Black women, and that is the preference of a white man.
That's
for a Black. No, I'm coming. That A white man would rather have a black woman up there than a black man.
Yep.
Because I got to tell you why.
Wait, bro,
Let me finish. Let me finish.
my
Because what happened
morale
is this,
doesn't
right?
fix on white people,
When
bro.
it's not
I
matter
don't
of
care what white man
morality,
want.
it's matter of military strength and warfare. It's warfare. I'm sorry, it's warfare. If any shit goes down in the community, in the workplace, or anywhere, a white man would rather have a black woman to fight than to fight a black man. You got to know that. So you're supposed to be advocating for a black man to sit at the table where a white man is sitting, and for a black woman to sit at the table where a white woman is sitting. You see what I'm saying? Because it's going to be to the advantageous of the community. If our women should be our spokespeople at a seat where a white man is sitting, that is very bad for our community.
I'd like to
You
say
see what I'm saying?
Hold on real quick.
If you gotta have to send your wife to go and advocate and go and talk for you at a meeting full of white men, that is not good, because she will not say nothing when she gets there.
Hold on real quick. Fantasy Island girl. Hold on real quick. Fantasy Island girl, throw me a can you come on cam? We doing cam. All right, go ahead, Mr.
Hey, what's Ikine? Is that your first name? Ikine?
Ekene.
Hey, listen. Here's the one thing I would correct you. I think Ali is exactly where he needs to be for this conversation. Right? His points are, we can't say his points aren't legitimate. I just don't think that one of the problems is we don't have to agree with each other. Is what's more important, agreement or understanding? Right? So those things are different, right? And so I don't agree with a lot of what he's saying, but I understand where the brother's coming from. You know, but so I mean, we can have more conversation. But the thing that makes, for me, I mean, this is Mike's panel, but the thing that makes this good is that we're not in a complete echo chamber where we all agree with each other. That shit doesn't lend anything for anybody to understand how we move forward if we're all in agreement. So it's good to have some other kind of thoughts. And now that we got some honeys, well, we got Fantasy Island girl who's she's a honey in her own right, but she's special too. That'll add, because I like to see the mix, right? Because the mix is where it's at. Just like Ali thinks that sometimes we talk in absolutes. I agree that a man should have the final say, but it doesn't have to be in all things in a relationship. Me and my wife, we discuss stuff, and if she could convince me that she's right, I know how to acquiesce without losing my ego or manhood. I'm not like to say it's my way or the highway, and I know I'm wrong. The best leaders know how to put the ladder up against the right wall, right? And I don't feel I lose my leadership in anything if I agree with my wife. I think men who do that are mistaken, right? So, I'm not even saying I'm in the middle, because usually when we have an impasse, I'm usually right, or else we're not even at an impasse, right? Because if she says something that's logical to me, I say, okay, that's cool.
Yep.
And if she says something that, like, she wanted TVs in my little kid's room so they could babysit, I said, no, they're not going to have no TVs in their room. I won that. If you call that shit an argument in a marriage, then that's really benign. But I won that one, right? And, she wanted a dog. I won that one too, because I didn't want to be lower than a dog. I didn't just say we couldn't have a dog. I explained it. I'm going to shut up after this. I said, there's you, there's my daughters, and if we get a dog, then there's a dog, and then it's me. There's no fucking way I'm paying a mortgage and being lower than a dog. So we didn't get a dog.
Thanks.
So that was it. And then, but the rest of the stuff, she runs stuff. We just groove that way. But I don't mind the way you're coming from. But I think this shit makes stuff good, because I don't really agree with some of the stuff you're saying, but I can understand why you're saying it. All right, that's enough for me.
Let's say it real quick. My wife got a dog. She begged me for it, but when I told her, I'm not walking a dog, I'm not picking up the poop. You ask for it, you take care of it. It's not my goddamn business. Other than that, and here's the thing.
Totally
my
fair.
mom said it about me. She said I'm ruthless. I think yes, I am ruthless. I have a one-track contract for women. I do not dare with BS. Period. Not for my mom, not for my grandma, not for my aunt. No female. Period. Mess with me, Only God can save because the demon come out of him.
All right, Fantasy Holly Girl, what you got for us?
I just wanted to come up and speak because I heard what you gentlemen were saying. I think it was CBN that was speaking on the military aspect of things. And I think whenever they want to use the excuse that these women, platoon leaders, are causing these issues overseas and in these war zones, but the fact of the matter is, they never point out the race of those women, and those women are usually not black. When I see black leaders, black women leaders in the military, they're as strong as it gets. They're as capable of making decisions as it gets. You don't make it to platoon leader, to these positions as a black woman in the military without having extra strength to show that, to prove that you can do it. So I feel like it's disingenuous for us to have these conversations like, oh, women in the military, women in the military, women in the military, when you know that black women in the military are one of the strongest women in society.
Wait, hold on. Who said something about? I don't even remember that. Who said something about that?
CBN Tech, he was
All right,
talking
so
about the platoon
but
leader
the
causing people
point
to
that
get killed.
the point that I was making, being prior military myself, is we're not necessarily talking about the military, because my point was that within the social construct where mostly men are, women lead
Mhm.
all the time. Is if the military was only women, then that's when what I'm talking about would apply. Yes, there are women platoon sergeants. There are women. I had a LPO. You know, I'm Navy, so forget all that platoon.
Oh,
Well,
okay.
I had an LPO that was one, like, yeah, within the social construct and the hierarchy created within things like within services like the military, women absolutely can lead. In fact, your whole job description tells you exactly what you're supposed to be
What
doing.
you're supposed
Yes,
to do.
women are
Exactly.
not incompetent. They can absolutely lead in those hierarchical structures. We're talking about in the construct of a home and rearing children. That's the primary, like within a
I
family. That's
completely
what we're talking
understand.
about.
And I agree that we do not want, I am going to speak for myself. I'm more than capable of making decisions. I've made it so far in my career in the military with being able to make decisions. However, like you said, Trigger Mike, I do not want to. I'm at the point, I'm up here in rank, and I do not want to make the decisions that I need to make. And I feel like I worked so hard to get to this position, and now that I'm here, they want me to make decisions that I don't want to make. So I was like, man, Trigger Mike has a point here. At the end of the day, it's not whether or not we can make decisions, it's whether or not we want to. And I'm speaking as somebody that has made it to a senior NCO, and I do not want to at this point. So I got to give you that
Oh, I know.
aspect. I
I mean,
can, but
this
I
is
don't
nature.
want to.
We can't fight nature, right? Hold on real quick, y'all. Trey, throw me a salute. All right, bet. Let's get my man Trey in here, then we're gonna get the first question. This is a long ass opening thought session. Trey, what's going on, bro?
Not much. What's going on with y'all?
Oh, we chilling, man. What you got on it?
I mean, I don't have much on it. Russell is going to be Russell. I think a lot of the groundwork in their relationship wasn't done at the beginning, or there was just an acceptance of, listen, this is how it's going to be, and either Russell okayed it or he just didn't put up a fight. Either one has happened. And I think, we can look at a picture and say maybe Russell doesn't look like he's happy. I don't know. I mean, we would have to know the inner workings of their marriage completely. But I can tell you from the outside looking in, he doesn't look like a man who is fully secure in his marriage. He just doesn't appear that way. And when
Yeah.
I look at his career from when Sierra entered into his life, which is right around 2014, 2015, he winds up losing the Super Bowl. The career doesn't get any better. It's only gotten worse since she's been in his life. I'm not completely sure that he's the image that he's portraying is what is actually how he truly feels. And I think at some point in time, and I've seen this, over my, the previous career that I've had, these guys tend to be a ticking time bomb. And at some point in time, there's going to be an explosion. And I don't know how that's going to manifest itself. I hope it doesn't manifest itself in some sort of violence. But usually, typically, that's how it comes out. It comes out in some sort of violence where he's going to get pushed to the limit, and it won't be the big thing. A lot of people always think it's some sort of big thing. It'll be something very, very small and tiny that'll push him over the edge. So I'm hoping at some point in time, maybe, if he's not okay with it, I'm just assuming, obviously, we don't know. But I'm assuming if he's not okay with it, at some point in time, they sit down and have a conversation. But if he is okay with it, then, I guess more power to him. I'm not sure.
All right, y'all. So those of y'all that can cam up, we're trying to do a all cam show. Even if you got to walk away and the cam is on, that's cool. Cam up if you can, and we just want to have as many people on cam as we can, or I'm gonna have to drop some
I
people.
got to tell you guys this, right? Some households are so screwed up you don't know. You see what I'm saying, right? Like I've been to some households, right? Married people, their household are so there's some married household that are so screwed up that it disgusts you. So I don't think they're gonna break up because that's one misconception that people are getting. If he's happy on what she's doing and he doesn't have morals, he might be a guy that outside he has morals because of his image, NFL. But he likes the nastiness of his wife. You can break them up. I'm sorry. Some men love nastiness.
Mm-hmm.
And if she can demonstrate that nastiness to his level of satisfaction, she ain't going nowhere.
Yeah,
You
I
gotta
think
know that.
my pushback for that particular narrative is that is actually contradictory to everything we believe in some of our
Yep,
traditional norms. If you
that's
believe a
right.
woman like that is doing that simply because she likes it, no, there's always a deeper meaning to what she's doing. She is seeking attention from other men, and they get a rise out of it when the husband
Mhm.
pretends he's okay with it. She is doing, so Sierra is doing the personification of what Aisha Curry said. I just want it's not that I want to do anything with
Yeah,
them. I just want attention from other men. Did you remember the uproar that happened from that statement? They
yeah,
actually wish that their men, it's called a cuck, is it not? A cuckold. They want
yeah.
their men to be okay with them advertising themselves to other men. Now,
That's right.
traditionally speaking, women who do that will eventually cheat on their men and stop respecting them.
No, they do cheat,
Nobody
brother.
respects the cuckold.
They do cheat. They
Yeah,
do cheat.
it
They
will
do.
manifest itself in problems in your marriage. It will never just be something that's fully accepted unless that's the way the man wants it. And usually, even that part of it, if you are somebody who likes being a cuckold, you keep that private. No dude is out here saying, "Yeah, I want my wife to display herself to other men, and I'm a
You're taking a
cuckold."
leap, Mike. You're
Yeah,
taking a leap, man. I mean, a part of what you're saying is
The
correct.
only things.
Part of what you're saying is correct. These women want attention, but that doesn't mean that they're necessarily going to want to make their husbands into a cockhole, whatever they call that shit. Listen,
cuckold.
listen,
Yeah,
listen, listen. Because Sierra might absorb all that attention from men, and get home and bust it out with my man, whatever, Russell. He might get all that attention, and she says, I'm ready now for you to dissipate all that shit I got from the outside, and he's getting all the rewards.
Yeah,
hmm
So I mean,
so
so now listen, I could
yeah,
be. I'm not saying I'm right and you're wrong. I'm
Oh,
just trying to say we know that she wanted attention beforehand, and she wanted
hmm
attention during, and she wants attention now. I mean, but
Well,
hmm
let's
we
well
could
let's
call
be
him a simp, but he might just be able to take that kind of shit, man.
well
That's
let's
right.
well let's be clear. Her entire career is based off of attention.
Exactly.
She needs attention to sell records and to be popular. My
hmm
question is all attention good attention? And
yep.
and when and with the type of influence that she has on younger women, what kind of message is she sending? Because I'm telling
And
you,
this
to me,
But
what's
that's
going to happen is
that's
you,
a
you,
different
you, you
subject, though, isn't it? That's
this
a
is
different
this is
subject.
actually what we're saying. Let me try to bring it back into the intelligence sphere
Okay.
because I know you guys can vibe with this. Because what Trey said is actually extremely important. Is all attention good attention? This particular topic of attention is where we find this is where women go wrong right here in society. It is an art form, as y'all have heard me say, to be sexy without being slutty. This is where we find out just how trash a woman can be. If she decides to go to the slutty side, she failed the test. We understand that a woman, especially an entertainer, needs to be sexy, needs to have appeal. Men need to desire you. Women want to be just like you and have your body. It is an art form for you to be elegant without being trash. And what they do is they sell themselves out. They sell their souls to the devil instead of finding and fine-tuning exactly that little bit of thing. Because let me tell you something. In real life, let's be honest, in real life, when we talk about a wife, a woman that's a 304 versus a wife, it is usually that woman that is more elegant and leaves mystery for the man. Do it just enough to be like, God damn, I want to see what's under that dress.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? But now they're showing it all to you up front and saying they want to be called wives anyway. It's not right.
The mystery is gone. There's nothing to look forward to because you got it right there in front of your face.
All right, I got a neighborhood in the back. We doing a cam up only. Are you able to cam up? If you are, go ahead and cam up for me. He got two things open. All right, we go back to it. All right, let me get to the first question. This is the longest opening thoughts I've ever had. All right, so on the topic of submissive men, gentlemen, what's worse for the community, a submissive man or a deadbeat dad? Trey, we're going to start with you. Since you, what's worse?
Oh wow. I probably am gonna go with a deadbeat dad. I think ultimately a submissive man is probably still in the home. While it's probably not the example we want, he is still there. But a deadbeat dad, can't. Listen. I grew up without a father, and I'm telling you that the trauma that a young boy who grows up without his father, it doesn't it never ends. I'm just gonna leave it at that. It doesn't end. I'm almost 40, and there's still times where it can creep up and pop up, and I have to I have to deal with it.
Hey, neighborhood, throw me a salute. Throw me a salute so I can let you on cam. All right, I need you on cam for this one though. You can walk around, do whatever, just stay on cam. All right, real quick, Trey, were you done? My bad.
Yeah, go ahead.
All right, let me read these super chats. We got a lot of super chats. We appreciate that. For everybody tuning into the Trigger Mike Show, welcome. Today's topic is submissive men destroy the community. Let me go ahead and read these super chats. We got an all-star panel on. Clement Gray, $2. Too many Ahabs following these Jezebels. Trigger to bomb. My man, Clement Gray. Big Ant, $10. Reverend Trigger Mike. No, no, I'm not. Mr. Rich, appreciate that. Masculinity is only toxic when the honeys wield it. We can tell you a boomer with these honey.
Yep.
Mr. Rich again. This is what I share. Does Sierra have any respect left for Russell Wilson and her family? Should he be embarrassed by his wife being nearly naked in public? Find out today on the Trigger Mike Show. Hey, we dissecting this one. I think this is going to be one of the greatest. My man Ash, $20. We appreciate that. Ikene, similar to my dad from Belize, boomers and a percentage of Gen Xers speak with authority. Absolutely, they do. This was my father. My father just left yesterday. I'm a grown ass man. He still talks to me like this with his hand. Mike Head, go up with his hand. I'm a grown ass man. Still getting a knife hand.
That is all
Absolutely
African
right.
father. That's all African father do that to you.
Knife hand. All right. So millennials and Gen Z do not know these types of masculine men. Our tone commands the room and respect. Absolutely, Ash. Couldn't agree more. Advanced perception, $2. Oh, women independent? Let some zombies pop up. Hey, it might be a joke, but I'm telling you, I could never believe in this whole independent woman, we are the world type thing. Let one bomb drop. The worst part about it is that you think these women that are married and these women that have men are your friends. Let something happen, and you're gonna see how much they don't rock with you no more. Sorry, this man's provision and protection is for me. You can't come here. You can't come to my house and eat my resources and use my man's protection. You can't do it. Sorry. I'm telling you, women will eat each other alive before men ever have anything to do with it. I'm telling you.
Trigger, I was in the military with them, man, and the ones that could even get through the training, they were like top tier women. Like if they could get through the training, they were like the best of the best, like women. Most of them physically couldn't even get through the training. And that's not to say anything. I'm not trying to shit on women. I'm just making a point that if something was to truly, really go down, man, I think women will quickly find that, being submissive and being feminine was the right way the whole time.
Yep. I mean, they try to retreat to it. They retreat back to it, but it's too late. So we're not even saying that, like, all the stuff that we're saying, it's not that, oh, women are different now. Like, that's why I'm like, yo, whoever thinks women are actually different is losing, because what you're doing is setting yourself up for the eventual switch. They always retreat back to their nature and then blame men for not being masculine while they're asking you to tone down your masculinity. It is one of the most insidious agendas the world has ever seen. All right. But again, we are on the Trigger Mike Show. Today's topic is submissive men
But
destroy the
but
community.
but
Yeah, go ahead. Let me just say that the question for the moment is, what's worse for the community, a submissive man or a deadbeat dad? We do accept super chats as answers to the questions. We appreciate your support. And Mr. Ikene, what you got?
like I told Ali earlier, if a man creates a vacuum, a woman feels it. It's a science. It's a science definition. A vacuum cannot be created. So that's why a man is always held responsible whenever a vacuum is created. Whenever things go wrong, the man is held responsible because you shouldn't create that vacuum at the first place. You see what I'm saying? So it's your sole responsibility as a man to make sure there is no vacuum. Somebody has to maintain order. But when the order goes away, when the staff of order goes away from the man to the woman, guess what? She, as a woman that the staff of order is given to, or the staff of power is given to, will abuse it. That's why men don't like to give women power, because women will turn around and use it against the man. You see what I'm saying? So as a man, you have to create that pathway. Yes, deadbeat dad and a submissive man, to me, they're both dangerous to the society.
Or pick one, man. Go ahead.
Pick one.
I can't pick
Pick one.
I can't pick one. I'm
You
sorry,
gotta
guys.
pick one. You got to pick one.
I'd rather have a submissive man in the house than a deadbeat dad. Because a man, just the presence of a man alone is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's go with Mr. Rich. Did you go?
No, I didn't. Listen, when we say deadbeat dad, we're not talking about a man who disappeared because the woman kicked his ass and she's being a 304 with the kids. We're just talking about a true deadbeat dad.
Yep. Doesn't
A
provide, doesn't do anything.
submissive man in the house is better than a deadbeat dad. A man in the house, if he's submissive to his woman, he doesn't necessarily have to be a coward in front of his children. So a man in the house is better than just some deadbeat dad out there just, stroking everything that's walking and not taking care of his business.
Okay. Shui, what's worse for the community, a submissive man or a deadbeat dad?
I'm gonna go with a deadbeat dad, just for everything that the brother just previously said.
Okay.
My fault. I'm getting ready to go to work.
No worries. All right, my man, Neighborhood, what's going on?
Good evening. Well, good afternoon to the panel. How everybody doing?
All right.
So, I think I'm going to zig on this one when everybody's zagging. Because one begets the other.
Yep.
I'm gonna preface it with this. I consider myself a deadbeat dad because I am a remote father. If you are not in your child's life on a day-to-day basis, I don't think I could ever go against someone saying that you don't do what I do when you're here for your child every day. That's just my personal opinion. But what I will say, the submissive man is better for the community because the submissive man is the man that married my baby's mother and made her a wife and took care of our child together when she made a decision to end the relationship. So that is one thing that I can say. I've always respected the man that is raising my eldest daughter because I couldn't do anything but respect it because he chose her as a wife when I did not. But to speak to how the submissive man cannot be that type of man, because the submissive man that Mr. Wilson is, he used his woman to gain favor with the community. He used his woman as a tool, as like a political tool, a pawn. He looked at it as him taking her as a wife, removing her from the status of baby mama to a rapper, was going to elevate her in a point to where the community was going to respect him for it. Now, women respect him for it, but men understood that he used that situation. He used that man's children to gain favor with the public, and now his wife is making him look like a fool.
I
My
agree.
wife agreed it.
Hey,
I
hey,
agree with
I like that. I like that.
Mhm.
Hustler and muscular.
I'm gonna say the deadbeat dad, because when you got a man that's submissive, he's basically being a detriment to himself. But a deadbeat dad is gonna be a detriment to himself and to his children. So if you're a father that's not in your child's life, that's gonna affect the kids in some negative fashion. They're gonna grow up that their father stepped out on them. Their mom is gonna feed them all this toxic bullshit about how the father was and all this kind of stuff. That's gonna affect the child mentally and psychologically. Believe me, I did an internship at a juvenile detention center, and that's kind of stuff I heard. Some of these kids came from single parent households. Some of these kids came from poor families with no father in the household. So I've seen how this stuff plays out. So yeah, a deadbeat father can be worse than a submissive man because you're bringing children into the mix, and that's gonna add gas to the fire, in my opinion.
Good answer. Good answer. CBN.
Man, this is hard to choose. I want to say neither, but I listened to the point. I'll have to say dad. I'm not a submissive dad. You know, my wife was a single mom. She only had one child. I'm going to be no, I'm not going to be a fool because I spoke to the father of my stepdaughter and laid out what I'm trying to do. The guy's in the army. What I do remember one time when his daughter got out of hand and he was still on ground, I let him know, like, what are you going to do about this? Because one, I wasn't going to lay my hand when the father's still around. You're not going to believe what happened. He came over here. His daughter did not see him coming. Her own dad whooped her ass in front of me. So if the next time I hear you disrespect this man and doing X, Y, Z, I'll come back and whoop your ass again. So I was like, okay. So I look at the dad. You think what your dad did to you right now, right? We'll go down that road again? Okay, no problem. I don't have to raise my hand. Your dad take care of it. Because it's her daughter, mind you. I have 2 kids with my wife, but I let my wife know. If you don't want me to put my hand on your daughter, which is my stepdaughter, that's just fine. We have kids together. I am not buying that doctor with nobody. Ain't nobody can stop me. I made that super clear that day. I would be dead than being alive, allow my kid get out of hand. Yes, I'm a grizzly bear. I jacked my kids up a couple of times. Let them say, if you go out your mouth one more time, I'm gonna whoop your ass.
Straight
I let
up.
it be clear. In my household, you better respect your parents, respect your other. If not, you see what happens.
Pow pow.
That's what I mean.
What do they call it? Pow pow.
Just so funny.
All right, let me get to the next one. Shout out to everybody tuning in on the Trigger Mike Show. Today's topic is submissive men destroy the community. Excellent answers on that question. I do have another question for y'all. Kind of on the same thing, but we're going to talk about it. We'll start with Shway on this one while he's on the way to work. Are black men too submissive or are black women just dominant? What do you think, sir?
I would say I don't think that black men are too submissive or anything like that. I mean, when it comes to how I view masculinity, femininity, I know that you guys view it very fixed. This is one way to be masculine. It's one way to be feminine. I view it as a spectrum. There's a spectrum on this stuff. You know, most people fall on different sides of the spectrum. There's most really buff dudes that you'll see, and they have feminine tendencies about them. Or certain feminine tendencies about them. In other places, they checked off other sides of masculinity. But I don't think that black men are too submissive at all. I'll just put it like that. You know, I actually, can you hear me?
Yeah.
I actually think that there's been a concerted effort to make men and show black men hyper masculine. I feel like that's been I wouldn't call it an agenda because I don't want to make it seem like it's this big conspiracy, but I do feel like over the years, especially if you're talking about from the late 80s into the 90s into now, well, not so much now, but until like the mid 2010s, you saw this concerted effort to make Black men look extra masculine, because it plays in the stereotypes. It plays into us being beastly and us being like, animalistic mostly. And it was something good to package. I feel like that's been mostly what's been seen. Black men have not really been seen as submissive, and when they are seen as submissive, it usually gets a big uproar. I.e. Jonathan Majors, i.e. Rocky, i.e. when Kanye was wearing a kilt, people was like, "Yo, this gonna destroy the community." It's always been uproar when men show, submissive tendencies. I feel like for the most part, we've been portrayed as hyper masculine.
All right, bet. Let's go to Ikene.
Yeah, I think go ahead.
Are Black men too submissive, or are Black women just dominant?
No, I don't think Black men are too submissive or Black women too dominant. I think Black men are too sympathetic to Black women due to them being raised by mothers.
Ooh.
So their mothers teach them how to guide. That's how to protect a man. You see what I'm saying? Remember that husband's son. So she raised him to be husband's son. So when he gets abused by a woman, he sees the picture of his mother on that woman's face. Oh, that's how my mom acts. That's how my mom acts. So instead of him to become assertive to stop her from what she's doing, now he becomes protective of her instead of assertive. So Black men are very sympathetic to Black women.
I think that was a very intelligent answer, and I absolutely see it, because remember, 70% of Black people alive today were raised in a single mother household. And I always say we got to get off this topic of Black men being a certain way, because they are sympathetic because they saw their mother do everything. They were indoctrinated through that. So a lot of what they think and how they react, how they feel, and the way they process problems was from a woman telling them things and telling them how to do that, absent of their father, right? So that you can naturally see that's what men try to do out here in society. They just try to save women all the time. They're trying to save that woman that reminds them of their mother, no matter what her behaviors are. All right, so Mr. Rich,
you think so?
Oh,
All
yeah.
right,
You think men are out here trying
I've
to
actually
save
heard
women?
clinical therapists, several of them, break it down in that exact fashion.
But
I'm
save
gonna
them from
somebody. I got a lot of my smart people in the
Well,
chat.
Ali, you've seen enough videos where some random guy is arguing or he hits a woman, and then another random guy beats his ass for regardless of what the woman has done. I mean, that's all over the place. But that's not the. So just getting back to the answer myself, I think first of all the statistic that men and women have been raised by single mothers is not nothing new. It's been going on for at least 3 generations, starting with Gen X and snowballing down to where we are in millennials and stuff like that. Black men have been not only submissive, but they've been subjugated to Black women. And that's why we sit here and take all the bullshit that they give us, right? Because we've been conditioned to, no matter whether they're right or wrong, son husbandisms, all that kind of stuff. Now, this whole notion about Black men have been savages until recently, right? So now in movies, they're homosexuals. They're taking it in the butt. They're doing all kinds of stuff. You see Black men, if they want a leading role, they're a homosexual. If you see a Black woman in a leading role, she's a lesbian, right? You see a Black man, if he gets a role, he's either a drug dealer or a pimp. So the messages that they're giving about Black men are still bad. That's why they killed off T'Challa in the Black Panther. He was the one Black king who was a heterosexual leading an empire, And the Marvel Universe and Disney said, well, you know what? We can't have that imagery no more. That's too much.
I completely disagree with that.
Well, that's what happened. So
No,
so
no. The character died in real life.
You can get your chance to go after I'm done. Right? I'm a big Marvel fan. I'm a big imagery guy. Disney's an image
He was
company.
actually around when the comics were written, okay, Trey?
Exactly.
We cannot argue with him.
Let the dinosaur have his word, and then you can go. Right? So the point is, I mean, I wrote a good piece on this whole thing, my Wakanda Forever review. And so my whole thing is this. They killed, they didn't kill off Superman. They had 3 Spider-Mans in the movie. They don't kill off nobody. So they kill off the Black King because the actual actor died. They could replace them. We don't have no shortage of black men who could have came in and became T'Challa. So they killed them off because they didn't want no Black King out there. And then it became a vagina monologue. That's what the whole show was, right? And so, listen, what I'm trying to say is black men are under attack. And we're starting to stand up and say, listen, I want to go outside and I want to bring my dick with me, okay? I want to do it all. I want to be a man. I want to leave my household. I want to be able to look other men in the eye and say, this is the things that I'm doing. And I don't have to subjugate women to do it. I just want my rightful place in the hierarchy. That's it. So listen, so get back to this thing. Black men have been subjugated too long subjugated and submissive to their women too long, and it's destroyed the community. So we got to build a new one. Because you go into the inner cities, there's hardly any intact families. And then we have a class issue because where there are intact families, none of those people live in the inner cities. None of them. They got a whole different dynamic going on. So, I mean, I can rage on and on. I don't have anything against women, but they are not supposed to be leading men like we're some trifling dogs out in the street.
Well, let me first give you my pushback on Black Panther.
Okay.
My pushback on Black Panther is because they have 1.3 billion reasons to not get rid of T'Challa. And overall, and I know that these Marvel companies, these studios are about their money. 1.3 billion reasons to not kill him. I think the issue is that they were in a bad spot. Unfortunately, Chadwick passed away in real life, and I think they were damned if they do, damned if they don't. If they replace him, they were going to be people that said, oh, yeah, you just replaced him. You think they were not going to be happy about it. And then if they didn't replace him, they're going to say, why didn't you replace him? There's plenty of great black actors. I think they couldn't have. I don't think they would have won with either decision that they made.
They would have been better off replacing him. But go ahead.
Well, I mean that's your opinion, and honestly, I don't necessarily disagree. I don't necessarily disagree. I would have liked to see them replace him too, because of what I saw in the second movie. I didn't like it at all. I almost walked out of it. So I don't buy. But this rhetoric that they got rid of him because he's a black king. They got too many reasons to not get rid of him because they made too much money.
No, I hear you. I hear that. So I'm sorry, but you're right about the money on the first movie. The point is, there's $1 billion to Disney. It's not really that crazy. I'm not talking about Marvel. If Disney didn't buy Marvel, I think they would have replaced T'Challa. But Disney is an image company. Image means anything. They came out with the Woman King first, right? And then they came out with Women King on steroids. And the whole nature of women warriors is to kill black men. These black women warriors. The whole point of that was to show how these women had to swear off men, and they couldn't have any relationships with men, and their sole purpose was to kill black men. So these are images that you can't get away from. And so I'm just saying, they took Wakanda, then they turned the Submariner into some Indian dude from South America, as opposed to being a white dude from Atlantis, right? So I mean, the imagery is everything to these guys, man.
I mean,
That's
not the argument. Obviously, we know that imagery has always been that. We've seen white people portray Egyptian kings and pharaohs. We know this already. But my point is I don't think that was their decision. Was okay in the end. This is the point. We're going to get rid of them. And correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a point in time where in the comic book he wasn't going to become he was going to lose the Black
No,
Panther
no,
powers anyway.
she becomes a Black Panther, but
Right.
that's a
So,
big significant storyline,
like I
right?
said, I think they were damned if they do, damned if they don't. They were in a bad spot. But had Chadwick been alive, I don't
He
think
would have won it.
that script would have been written the way it was written had he been
I agree
alive.
with
It's just
that. I agree with you there.
unfortunately he truly passed away. Let me answer the question. This question about whether or not women women are too dominant or men are too submissive. I think that men have just become too submissive. At the end of the day, you know, women, when it all boils down, women don't have the physicality to dominate us. When it comes down to apples, oranges to oranges, there certainly are women who are more intellectual. There are certainly women who are, more practical, right? But when it comes down to apples, oranges to oranges, women are not more physical than us. Therefore, they cannot overwhelmingly dominate us. I think what has happened is men have just decided that they just don't care anymore. I just see a lot of black men just like, you know what, they gave up. They don't care, which is why I think that Passport Brothers movement was so big, because it gave them a reason to care again. Oh, I can get with this. This I can get with. I can get behind this. But I think that men have just become too submissive. Even when I look back at my own life, and I look back at the women that I dated and some of the crap that I allowed to have, I just look at I look back and look at myself and go, that's my fault. Because all I had to say was, nah, you can't do that. Nah, I'm not for that. Nah, I'm not gonna allow that. That's all I had to do, and I didn't do it. And why? Could it be that I was raised by a single mother? Now, luckily for me, I had my uncle in my life. My uncle played a huge part of being that male role model in my life. But I know there's times when I look back in my relationships with women where I didn't say anything or I didn't say no, and I wonder why I didn't. Was it because I was conditioned a certain way growing up? I don't know, but I just think that men have far become way too sensitive, and women are not just overly dominant.
Well, you have to have your moment where and I'll be quick on this one. You have to have your moment where you have a revelation, right? When I was 19, I had a girlfriend. I went to school in Buffalo. I had a girlfriend who was from the streets. I was not ready for her, and she just tore me up and down. One day my frat brother came in. I actually was crying and shit, right? He said, "What's the matter?" I told him, that my girl was giving me a hard time, blah blah blah. And he said, "Oh, man, guys, don't worry about it. Get over it." That night, all the frat brothers was in the house. He couldn't wait to tear me a new one in front of all those brothers, man. They ripped me up and down, and I learned a lesson there, one lesson, and they turned me into a savage. They turned me into a savage. My heart was hard as hell after that. And then I had to get some balance back. But so you had a revelation. You couldn't be soft, couldn't be too hard, but you got to understand the nature of women. So I started to learn that kind of stuff. Go ahead.
All right, Sir and Sway, throw me a peace sign. Let me know it's you. All right, bet. Stay on cam if you can.
I'm glad I learned at 19 though. That was good.
All right, sir, what's going on?
What's good, my brother?
We chilling. What you got on the topic, bro? You want to answer the question or just speak on the topic in general?
I'll definitely answer the question. I will say that kind of to acquiesce to what the other brothers have said. I think that the softness of men, the softness of their hearts, is what made these women be able to take this fake dominant role.
Yep.
The fact that we don't stand up, we say, okay, well, we care about your feelings. We care about your feelings more than we care about the truth. We care about your feelings more than we want you to be great. We care about your feelings more than we want you to have a successful life and be a successful wife and us be successful men and fathers and husbands. We care more about your feelings, and the feelings is of flesh.
Ali, what's going on?
And so the simple fact that the Lord actually forbids all of that. He's against all of that. He tells you that your feelings should not be over the truth. But we decided that we're going to put male feelings over what's best for us and our families.
Yep. All right. Shway, you got something on the topic? On the question? My man going to work. All right. Bet. So we're gonna get some. Oh, did I go on this? Oh no, I didn't go. So are black men too submissive or are women just dominant? Never in life will I ever say that women are more dominant than men. Both sides are actually acting outside of their nature at this point in time. Men do not understand, and the worst part about it, especially for black men, let me tell you how submissive you are behaving at this point in time. By the time you realize who you are, you have not been properly taught how to hone your skills as a man or your prowess. Therefore, it comes out incorrectly in interactions with police and interactions when you get pressed, and you have not been taught properly how to harness those emotions and show them in a acceptable manner. That is why you continue to have certain problems. You've been told to acquiesce to what the woman is saying. You've been indoctrinated. Unfortunately, a lot of it isn't your fault, but you are absolutely too submissive. The worst part about it is that you're not even paying attention to what the women really want. Stop listening. Jesus, stop listening to what women say and start looking at what women do. Women love men that pay them no fucking attention. Pay them no mind at all. Their favorite man, the man that they're chasing, don't want their ass. The man that literally just gives them the Heisman all day, that is not submissive, that is just assertive, and it's like, will you just get out of my face? They love being up under that dude, the assertive dude, the dude that takes charge, takes control. Their cat gets wet when he walks in the room. You submissive ass niggas, they love to tell you they want you to let them have control, and they will blame you when you can't take control back from them. Stop being a simp. Damn. And stop listening to women. Stop listening to what they say and look at what they do. They are leaving the hell out of these submissive ass dudes. And y'all got it. Women are not dominant. Never will they be. They don't want to lead. They don't. This is not anything against them. It's not in their nature. Women are naturally submissive to men that can lead. Just like someone else said, I think it was Ikene, when I walk into a room and it's not even yelling, shut up. It's when a situation dictates that everybody be quiet. They'll just be talking. My wife has all sisters and one brother. She got like 7 sisters. Hey, that deep daddy type, hey, y'all, listen up. All you see is head snap. And everybody listening to what I'm saying. The man just walked in the room. If you are somebody that commands respect, you will get this type of cooperation from women. You just got to be consistent. If they see that you believe in yourself and what you're saying, they have no choice but to follow. And guess what? Any woman that come in my house and don't want to follow, get the hell out. You don't got to be here. God be so good that he gave you a choice that you could be outside of a man's instruction and leadership, but you won't be in this house disrespecting me. That's all you got to say. They think they can stay and talk shit to someone in their own house. Kick them the hell up out your house. And they'll learn real quick that it's a cold world out there for uncooperative women. All right, what do we got? Let me get some final thoughts on this, man. I gotta go zero a rifle at the gun range before I go get my kids. Let me get my final thoughts on it. I just put a new one together. That's a monster. I can't wait to shoot that. All right, final thoughts, Mr. Rich. We're gonna start with you. So, submissive men destroy the community. What are your thoughts? Final thoughts.
Well, let me tell you this: submissive men are going to be the biggest enemy against the rise of men who want to take charge again. Submissive beta males are going to be the biggest enemy against both the alpha and the sigma males going forward. And let's put it straight to you this way: they ain't all punks. They might acquiesce to women, but that don't mean they can't fight, right? So I'm not saying we're going to get into a physical altercation, but we could see the evidence all around us that the way things are going, right? And when we try to build a new community of men who are in charge, and the black community moving forward with culture, proper culture, and whatever spiritual religion you want to follow, there's a lot of simps that's going to cling on to the feminist tropes, and all the women out there, the ratchet women who are doing all kinds of things to bring us down from the I'm not saying that all women. I'm just talking about this a significant amount of women who believe they could walk around naked, who have the wigs and the lashes and the eyelashes, just ratchet behavior, who are sleeping around, want to be like men. There ain't no small amount of them. There's a lot of them, and there's a lot of men who follow. So it ain't going to be easy to get a critical mass to go forward, and with the transgenderism and the black women who support transgenderism and support all of these decadent things that go against male masculinity. It ain't going to be an easy thing. So yeah, simpish beta males are pretty much the enemy. And if you look at it, I mean, we ain't talking about the intellectual enemy. Let's put it that way. Forget about the physical stuff,
Indeed.
because they have arguments. They have arguments, and some of them, you might not agree with, but they could be understandable. So it's going to be interesting generations to go forward. And by the way, we are kind of losing. Until the manosphere, there was no pushback at all, right? That was prevalent, right? And YouTube gave us a forum to at least speak out without fear and without commercialization, because we couldn't do this on TV. There ain't no shade room for men, or the Queen's show or the View. Where's the equivalent show like the View for men? It ain't there, or not on the commercial stage, right? So we got to build our own. That's why Kevin Samuels was so dangerous to people. Anyway, so that's my final thoughts.
I appreciate that, Mr. Ikene, with the nice leather.
He just stepped out.
With the nice leather seat.
Yeah,
we'll come back to him. CBN, what are your final thoughts on the topic?
Forgive me for multitasking. I can see from a tech report. My final topic, man, you guys have said a lot. And then it's true. When a lot of households are raised by talking about we raise weak-minded men without no foundation, men without no structure. And they're only going to imitate what they see growing up. There are a lot of broken homes whereby the male child did not stay with the mom and go to the father's side and learn how to be strong. But in some cases, end up staying with the mom in some of the cases. What I'm seeing right now is what it is. Society designed it for it to happen this way. This society don't want to have too many strong black men who rise up against their rule. When I say that, I used to work for a particular company out here in Manhattan. If anybody know, they're coming for the Estee Lauder company, the parent company, over 27 factory industry, including Tommy Hilfiger, Tom Ford, and many others. A lady told me this about the hierarchy of that company. They will never let a black man move up too close to their level. They only put a black woman in there because they don't want a black man to challenge their ruler or challenge their decision. This is why when I say, this is the problem. Whenever you see a strong black man going to a certain direction, the problem may be have a problem. You know what we do. I read a documentary about what happened to BET. Why did this man sell his company? Now, I realized there was some hidden thing that going behind closed doors. Well, by one, every media supposed to get funded from the government, but because of BET, Ebony Magazine, etc., they chose not to. Even though that's illegal, they did it anyway so that these people can afford. Whenever a black man want to do something great for the community, for their people, for some period, you have outside interference. They want to chew you down and tear you down. And that's why I say what I say. I'm an African brother. I'm a Nigerian. I was not raised to be weak. I was raised to be strong and precise. I was raised to be the person who would not only have inside understanding, but also have foresight. If I had to analyze anything before I do anything, I take my time. Look at the pros, look at the cons, see what would benefit my family. These are cues that leadership, we can take the load on our shoulder. People think I'm crazy. I think, guess what? I'm a guy who can say, I've been taking vacation in 20 years. But I'm not taking vacation until I reach my goal. I got a vision to see see through to my family. So they don't time out for me.
Excuse me.
I'm a father and a grandfather. So guess what? I got a lot to look over. They don't go out of way. I gotta fix it. This is why when I see submissive men act the way they act, I don't have no kind of people around me. It have to go. Just not me. Sorry. This is how I think. This is how I think.
Indeed. Sway, come give me a peace sign. Oh, he's low latency. Sway, give me a peace sign. I can't see your hand. Put it more in front of the camera. All right, Trey, final thoughts.
It may be the internet package.
Mm-hmm. Trey, go ahead.
Everybody don't have a full IT department in their living room. So
I mean, damn, how many screens you got?
Right.
You trying to throw me under the bus now? What the hell going on?
Nah, look, you know we good, David. You know we good. I'm not gonna beat a dead horse. I agree with Brother Payne. I know we're in different generations, but I think he said exactly what I would have said. I will say this, and I'll just leave it at that. Any man that doesn't hand the ball off to Marshawn Lynch at the 1 yard line in the Super Bowl is not to be trusted, and that's my final thoughts.
All right, but
That still kills me to the day, man. I still can't get over that right now.
Brother Payne, he owes me $7,500, bro.
Oh my goodness. Woo.
Damn. Wait, but is it him or the coach that called that made the call?
It don't matter. It don't matter.
Play action. Was it play
action? It don't matter. They called a run. He switched it.
Oh, I thought he. Oh.
They ran the tape back and they showed the whole thing.
Damn.
The receiver that was in motion was that was a running play. He switched it.
Hey, just to digress just a second. Because he didn't give that ball to Marshawn Lynch, one of the greatest catches on a 4 yard line has gotten overlooked. Remember that dude who caught that ball to bring him down there on the sideline? Yep. It was one of the greatest catches in NFL history. And we don't even see it because they lost the game.
Yeah.
I will say this, though. One thing I have learned about relationships really quickly is that that foundation is important. And what you state, what you build in the very beginning, what I've noticed for a lot of relationships and marriages that don't seem to work out later on, when you trace it back to how it started, you can see the cracks in the foundation from the very beginning, that they never really took care of that from the beginning, and then it just manifested, and eventually it got worse over time. So one of the things I've learned is, listen, if we're not building a solid foundation in which to build this relationship on, although I don't have aspirations for getting married, but if I do ever get married, I want to make sure that foundation is solid, because that's the common denominator I see in almost every field. It's like, oh, well, yeah, you guys never had a chance. You never built it on anything. And so I look at Sierra and Russell Wilson, although they're entertainers, and I take everything with entertainers with a grain of salt, right? Because they just live a different lifestyle than most people do, especially than I do. But I just know for a fact that thing was not built right. It just doesn't look like it was built right.
I like that observation. All right, man. Appreciate y'all for coming on today. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks, everybody. All right. Well, thank y'all for tuning into the Trigger Mike Show. Okay, so my final thoughts on submissive men. Listen, lead your homes unapologetically, as I said yesterday, okay? This is not something to be played around with. You men, I hate you. Oh, boy, I hate submissive men. I'm not even playing around with them. I hate you more than property taxes, I'm telling you. But listen, y'all can't lead your homes this way. You can't allow your woman to lead. She doesn't want to. And when you decide to come around and tell her you don't like the way she dresses and she's embarrassing you and the family, she'll just simply say, why didn't you tell me in the first place? Stop going with this laissez-faire, we are equal type of leadership. It does not work. They will always leave you or desire an assertive male, because that's what we are supposed to be. Nothing has changed. When women decide, and this is the one thing women always do, the one tendency women have, every single woman, is the tendency to change her mind. Okay? If she acts like she wants to be equal, if she acts like she wants to have equal say-so, it's only when she sees the glory in the situation. They will never have that stance when it's time to distribute blame. They will want to stand behind you and let you take the brunt of the blame. When you take the blame, that is another way of saying you are in charge, my friend. Thank y'all for coming through to the Trigger Mike Show today. What I want y'all to do is give a like. If you have not liked, hit the like button right now. Get us all the way up on those likes. I appreciate that. Tonight we got the big show, which is King Talk. Tonight, all right? Or I'm sorry, for before King Talk, right after this show, we got Attraction, Margin of Error. My man Chaotic is on at 3. Make sure you go over to this page right now and hit the notification button so you can understand when exactly Chaotic goes on. He is going on at 3 p.m. Central, 4 Eastern. All right, check out my man Chaotic. Tonight, I will be hosting King Talk. So I'll be hosting King Talk tonight. So make sure you also hit the notification bell so you can know what time King Talk comes on. All right. So please make sure you do that. I appreciate everybody for coming through. I am 9 followers away. This is what I need everybody to do right now. On my page, I'm 9 followers away from 1,000. Go ahead, like this video, subscribe, hit the notification bell so you know when Chaotic comes on. Go to the Trigger Mike Show page on YouTube. Get me to 1,000 right now. Everybody watching, go to the Trigger Mike page on YouTube at Trigger Mike Show. It's youtube.com/@Trigger Mike Show. Get me to 1,000 right now if you want to show your support. We appreciate everybody with your super chats. Let me read Mr. Ash's super chat here. He says, Trigger Mike, $20. Appreciate that. This is why black women are asking successful black men to save the so-called black community, which they trash by giving their youth and children to Pookie and Ray Ray. This is why they are hating on Passport Bros. I cannot agree more. You already know, Mr. Ash. We appreciate your support. Thank you for supporting the Trigger Mike Show and the Lapeef Network. We appreciate everybody for coming through. Chaotic is on next, and we got King Talk tonight. We got a hella content for y'all. Remember, go over to my page at Trigger Mike Show. Get me to 1,000 subscribers today. I do shorts and little clips on the topics that we have here where you can catch me on the network, on the Lapeef Network every morning, weekday mornings. All right, I'm out. See y'all tomorrow.